Hello, everybody. Welcome to Louisiana Catalyst, the Link podcast. We're so excited here. I'm Deron Talley, Vice President here at Louisiana Catalyst. Have my president right here with me, Mr. Quentin Durr.
Good morning, everybody.
And we have a special guest with us, the man himself, Mr. Justin Underwood, Vice President of Mortgage Banking at Origin Bank. Justin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. It's awesome to be here. Or as I like to say, I'm marvelous.
Nice,
Absolutely.
nice. And certainly you are, man. Just to give you your flowers, while I've known you now about 5 years, man, going back through our leadership Washita training in 2017, phenomenal mind. But not only that, heart and action. You have the heart, the mind to serve, but still to actually go out and do it in the various ways that you do and lead, man. You're one of my local heroes, man. I look at you as an influencer, as somebody that my family and I say, man, the Underwoods got it going, man. And so I just want to give you your flowers and let you know that people do notice what you're doing. Don't stop, regardless of what the feedback may be, good or bad. You keep doing it for the reasons you're doing it, man. But it's an honor to know you and a privilege.
Well, I'm humbled. I don't even know how to respond. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you, Deron. I look up to you, my friend. So to have that coming from you means a lot. And just so everyone knows, like, I finished second to Deron. And, being chosen amongst our peers at Leadership Watchdog, true leader right here, Deron Talley.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And Quentin and Justin also connect also through the Origin Bank and the relationship there. Every relationship has an origin story. You got to give that plug.
Yeah, I couldn't – there's few people that I can remember in my 15 years of banking that I've gotten in intensive and deep conversations about banking and appraisals or real estate. And there's a couple guys at the bank or ladies that I would get deep in conversations and an hour would go by. And Justin was, one guy at the bank, Justin Carrier, and then Justin Underwood. So the Justins always, I knew.
We bring it.
You know what I mean?
Bring it.
I knew those if I had a phone call, block off an hour because we was going to get deep.
Well, Justins have to make their mark in the world. Do you know a 75-year-old Justin?
I don't.
No. Like, we're making our name again. Like it.
Wow.
The comeback.
Right.
Yes, indeed. But to echo even what Quentin is talking about in your profession, in your industry, man, and connecting to how I introduced you, my wife and I, man, we wanted to do banking when we bought our house through Justin Underwood. We didn't care where you were.
Yeah.
We was Justin Underwood. That's who I know who's leading our area in mortgage lending right now, and I wanted to do business with you and wherever you were because if Justin is there, got to be good people there.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, I appreciate that, and I have. Look, the success that I've experienced is the Lord's grace and the people that He's put around me. And I have this kind of, I'm a dad, right? And I'm a dad who's about to have a daughter move out, so I'm like a dad, right? And kind of my dad joke is I've never closed a loan alone. I haven't.
Good.
I've never done it by myself. So any good you've seen me do has been a complete and total dependence on something else. And it's the people that you surround around you that you first recognize your need. Like you have to humble yourself and go, okay, maybe I have these gifts that the Lord's given me, these strengths, but that also means I have these other weaknesses, and let me make sure I have those people around me. And I've had that in spades, to be honest with you, like the best people. And that's why I say Team Underwood, right? And we kind of identify ourselves as a pack. We say the wolf pack, not like in a negative sense, but like we're together, right? But yeah, that's been a huge success in my career wherever it's been.
Nice, and that's one of the things Quentin and I talk about all the time. Thus, the name of our show here, The Link, is that collaboration piece, that teamwork mindset, not just internal to your core group, but also from business to business perspective. That's one of the things Quentin and I have thrived on here as well.
Yeah, it's asinine to think you can do anything by yourself. And that's one thing I've always appreciated about you is you, like us, I think, and the way we connected is having that servant's heart. It's not about self-glorification or what I can get out of it. It's how can I help you and how do I build a team around me that helps me do a better job. Because I'm thankful to hear, and we talk about all the time, is giving respect to those and building others up and then being able just to take a group and do good and make a change is so important. So for us with Catalyst and Deron coming on with the same mindset, we didn't miss a step. Matter of fact, we probably accelerated quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just like when you called me and said, hey, I'm looking for a place to move and do my podcast show, it was like, we're all in.
Man, I'm happy to be here. Life and the things that really matter in life is a mountain without a top. So no one ever is going to arrive. And so to think that you're going to do it on your own, stand on the mountaintop and look down on everyone, it's just a fool's dream. So to do it with people, to climb that mountain that has no top together is, to me, much more important.
Right.
Yeah. Let's talk about your podcast, Local Wisdom.
Yeah.
Tell us what inspired that, man, and some of the things you guys have been talking about. I know you've had some great guests over the last several weeks or months.
Well, thank you. So, we're talking about you, Quentin. some really good guests. Well, so in 2020, obviously COVID happened. I was already doing social media at some level. I wouldn't say at the high level, but in my industry, maybe at a high level. And as I went through COVID, I realized that video is 100% the future. The idea, like say Instagram, by the way, was built as a photography social media feed.
Right.
That's gone. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the news. They're converting stuff into reels.
Right.
So
Motion pictures.
pictures.
You know.
So I just had this really intense thought of, man, like if I want to thrive and survive into the future, I've got to be on video. I've got to get comfortable with a mic in my, at my face and a camera pointed at me, whether I like it or not. It's not my decision. I don't get to say, well, I'm just going to type what I feel, or I'm just going to post a pic about what I want people to see. No, it's going to go to video. And as I thought about that, I was like, this feels like unknown territory to me because I want to do it well. It might surprise people. I do have some perfectionism in me here and there,
Right.
But at the same time, I believe in implementation. I believe in doing something before someone else does it, if possible. Be the tip of the spear, if possible. And so I was like, how can I do this in a safe way? So I actually created, I'm going to call it a burner account. I know that's kind of a negative word, but I created this kind of pseudonym name that's like almost like a gamer title, and I started doing YouTube videos around my hobby, okay? And I was like, I'm going to do 35 videos, and I'm just going to get comfortable with having the camera pointed at me, being behind the mic, and the process of editing and seeing how that goes, okay? Without getting into that part, that actually took off really well, and it's doing really well. But that got me to a place where I was like, now I'm ready to do Local Wisdom. So to your question, why that? Well, I just felt like, how could I put myself in front of the people that I want to be in front of, be connected to a brand that, in a sense, kind of draws a line. Because I'm actually, in a way, to me, branding is as much of an attraction as it is, hey, let's not have those people in my world, okay? And so so I wanted to draw this line in the sand to say, hey, if you don't want to be about doing what I think is the right thing of taking care of people, you don't want to call me. Like, you want to cheat the system, don't call the guy with Local Wisdom. You know what I mean? And so I wanted to have that brand, but I also wanted the brand to be purposeful for the people who are hearing it. And the word local just stands out so strongly. I mean, I know you guys sense it too, right?
Right.
And of course, as a believer who has a strong faith in the sense that all things were created with a purpose, and there's an order to it, that wisdom is this concept to me, which is actually it's kind of difficult to define. I'm going to give you my definition and do with it what you will. But to me, you have the concept of knowledge is knowing, wisdom is doing. And like a lot of people can know. You can sit on the podcast and listen and may know some things.
Right.
Wisdom becomes that point of, where do I take this thing that I know, have enough faith that it's actually going to bear fruit, and put it into work and action. And that's where wisdom comes from. And so I was like, how could I bring local wisdom to people where after they hear this, they're going to walk away more informed. And in my specific area of expertise, which is real estate, how can they walk away feeling like, like real estate matters, and that's something I should want to have in my life.
Yeah, no, that's powerful, man. And again, talking about or staying along the themes of what we've been talking about, collaboration, connectivity, the link. But then when you use the word like local, what does that bring? Again, togetherness, family, everything that you see happening between both chambers of commerce here in Ouachita Parish, between the mayors. It's that idea that we are local to one another and we do belong together. I've seen Quentin talking about on other podcasts, just because we have a river doesn't mean we're divided. That's our connecting piece. That's our link. The river is our link. It's our local point that we all have in common. And so the brand around that concept and the content that you bring behind it, man, that's only, adding to the timing of everything that's happening right now in our community from a business perspective and all the perspectives around economic development.
I'm so glad you said that, because I like the concept of symbiotic, where you see this one, like you see a tree, right? And it's growing and it's healthy, like kudos to the tree. No, not kudos to the tree. Do you know everything that's connected to that to make sure it's healthy and what it then provides to the rest of the ecosystem? Nothing really lives in an isolation or a vacuum where it's good on its own. And so locally, we need everyone. Like, everyone matters. Everyone has value in the sense that we benefit each other. And it's not like they're more important or they're more important, or this side of the river is more important or that side of the river is more important. It's so symbiotic. I live in West Monroe, work in Monroe. I better want to see Monroe do well.
Yeah.
Like, don't draw a line there. I live in West Monroe. Like, I want to see West Monroe do well. I don't want it to be one's better than the other, right? I want both to do well because it's so symbiotic.
Yeah, I would have to say that if something happened to West Monroe, Monroe would suffer, and vice versa. 100%. So it's not this. It's such a competitive environment and landscape in North Louisiana because it is a limited resources. So everybody seems to want to try to fight over it or sit in their silo and protect. And it's like, that's why you're stuck.
Yeah.
If you're in a silo, you're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? So the way and the idea, the collaboration efforts we always talk about is like, how do we get out here? How do we find the Justins of the world and put them and help put their platform out? Because it's so powerful. Right now, there's so much information, you can get lost trying to figure out about real estate.
Yes.
So to have one place to go, listen, and just get some nuggets of information and truth and be able to do with that as you want. Some episodes you may not have any interest, but there may be that one that you've been searching the internet for, right? And that's that one thing that changes somebody's ability to go from not being able to buy a house to owning a house.
Yeah.
And now we create ownership, and now you create, generational wealth and start, educating people. And that's where we're at. That's the value. And how do we continue to be a catalyst between these entities, whether it's state agency or local people, and bringing it together and say, hey, this is, at the end of the day, how do we just make, people chase their dreams and connect them?
Absolutely. I love that. I like the idea of, I want to be a river, not a pond. A pond can be cute, like it can be useful, but it can become stagnant too, and cease to have real life growing in it.
That's right.
But a river, I mean, it flows, and there's tons of life. And the thing about it is, you have to come to the belief of, it's okay if something moves through me.
Right.
Like, I don't have to keep it to myself.
That's
like,
right.
Maybe I've been bestowed this wisdom about real estate. Well, I need to share that, not like I need to be the only person who buys it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's right.
And having that belief, I actually would say that money follows close behind it. When you are willing to be a benefit to others and serve others, whether it be wisdom, whether it be whatever that you have to offer, money follows closely behind it.
That's right.
You're not chasing the dollar. You're doing the thing that I think is most beneficial to the most amount of people, and then money just happens to follow.
Let the dollar chase you. Chase purpose.
There you go.
And let the
Profits
money just be
you.
let money be the byproduct of doing something you're passionate and chasing a purpose on.
Yeah, so that gets, for me, from a local wisdom standpoint, I'm gonna do this here, and you don't want me to, you tell me. But what's better than money? Okay, what's better than money? I would say reputation is better than money. Like, you just can't buy a good reputation. Before we got here, I told Deron, my papa told me, your reputation will beat you to California.
Right.
It goes before you. So don't ruin your reputation chasing a dollar. It's not worth it. Your reputation will make you money if you if you make the hard decisions to protect it.
That's right.
Right. A good spouse. You can't buy them.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
No.
You might think you can, but you can't. And when you have them, you realize their worth is far more than any amount of money.
That's right.
So don't sacrifice your spouse in an effort to chase money.
Right.
Chase your spouse. Do what you got to do to honor that.
That's
okay. Humility. You have all the money in the world. no one likes you.
Yeah. What's it worth?
Right.
Exactly.
Or they only want to be there because of the money.
That's
Right.
right.
So, no one, I say no one, I'm using some pretty strong
Right.
definitive terms, like you do the work and make your own decision, but if you're arrogant, if you think that you bring something to the table because you happen to have money, like that doesn't build true friendship and true relationships that last whether you have money or not. Wisdom. You ever see The Curse of the Lottery? The show? Like people who get large amounts of money very quickly,
And be worse.
dead or in jail within 2 years.
Yeah.
But you give somebody wisdom, you can start with a negative balance in your checking account and build wealth.
That's right.
Like wisdom, pursue wisdom more than money. Don't waste time scheming.
There
Right.
you go.
Spend time like learning, like really learning, and then implementing it, like trusting that that's going to work itself out. Fear of God. You gain the whole world and lose your soul. What do you got?
Right.
The money doesn't matter.
You
It
can't
doesn't-
take it with you.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a long game you got to
So,
think
yeah,
about.
the grave is a real thing,
Right.
and we all got to face it.
Right.
Graveyard travelers.
And yeah, and you might not like the term fear of God, but it puts things in perspective. It's not about you. You're not the be all end all.
Right.
And if there is one, what has he said? And if he said it, it's probably important.
Right.
So the fear is like, hey, he's God, I'm not. So let me put myself in alignment with what he said. And so to me, like, that's really, really important. And so you look at these things that are more valuable than money, and if you pursue those every day, like money follows pretty closely behind it.
Yeah.
And you could take someone who's a Balkamite without a college degree, and the Lord's richly blessed them.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Right.
Sounds like you know a little bit about that.
Everybody has an origin story, right?
Right.
That's right.
Right,
That's
yeah.
right. Let's dive a little bit before we end. Definitely want to pick your brain a little bit about the industry. What are you seeing right now in the real estate, in the mortgage banking world right now?
First of all, it moves really quickly. So what I'm going to say right now, literally tomorrow could be not true.
Right,
Okay.
right.
And it's you know, I think we say this all the time. It's unprecedented times, right? But it is. We haven't seen rates move from 2.75 to 6.75 in a span of 5 months, right? Or 5.7, like wherever it's at, depending on there's so many variables. So
Right.
don't overreact to the rate aspect of things, but it's moving fast. And we're seeing the people's relationship with housing changing. You say, well, 10,000 years of known history. How are people's relationship with housing changing? It just is. The pandemic was the first time our generation has lived through something like that. And it's changed the nature of and relationship we have with housing when you couple that with technology and allowing people to work from home. Like tremendous different jobs
Right.
in industries. The world has moved to a place and space where you're doing it on some type of desktop or laptop or some type of computer. We can now do meetings virtually. And with that, and this is too much to talk about, but you got a gig economy where people are actually making money from sitting at home being self-employed.
Right.
And there's various ways that that's happening. And so now people see home as it's not just shelter. It's a place where I can live and work. And so that's changing. And so there's just all these different factors that has us evolving in terms of our relationship with housing.
Yeah, I definitely can see exactly where you're going, because prior to COVID, I used to do studies on the millennial generation, and during that time, 2017, 2018, it was a lot of the millennial generation aren't buying homes, don't see value. We want to be mobile, we want to be flexible, but then the pandemic comes, and to your point, we are seeing more value in a home.
Yeah.
It's not just a roof over my head. I can get this anywhere.
Right.
It's, wait a minute, I can make money here. I can, work from here. I can do all these things now here.
And one thing social media has done is it's turned the young person, and when I mean young, I mean like down to 13, into seeing themselves as an investor entrepreneur
Right.
or an entrepreneur investor. And so that real estate just quickly becomes a part of that mindset. And I was telling Quentin this, like I see young people who have in their bio, investor. And whether it's flipping collectibles or whatever, like that's the mindset. And so real estate is just even more predominant in the thought process of a young person now than it was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, I think you see a huge change on where the workforce went, and I would dare to say that a chunk of that's missing are now self-employed. And so why work for $10 an hour when I can work from home doing my own thing and I can make double that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really not hard to make money if you have a passion, you know what I mean, and you do a little bit of studying and understand the market you're in, and find that niche, and
we like to say the word arbitrage. Like, it makes it sound smart, right? It's the idea that you see something for sale, you can buy it, and you already know that there's a profit there, and that difference is arbitrage. You're able to turn it and flip it in whatever platform, whether it be eBay, Mercari, whether it be Instagram, whether it be whatnot. I don't know if you guys are keeping up what's going on in these spaces. It's insane what's happening. But my point to your point is that people are working from home because they're able to generate a profit quickly online and sometimes never even touch the product.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, drop shipping.
Are they able to house it in, whether it may be a vault?
Right.
Like I don't know if you are aware, but like eBay has a vault system now.
Yeah. Amazon, same thing. You ship your product to them and they handle everything from there.
And all you're doing, so what you're seeing happen is like, hey, I'll create influence here by building a social media presence, and that influence will help drive the value of the product that I'm now selling, and they're creating their own worth in the product. And so you have that happening too, and that's one scale that I happen to be aware of. There's probably others that I'm completely not aware of, but the work from home model is with us.
Yeah, I want to think I saw this morning, and I really want to grab my phone, but I'm just going to shoot it from the hip. I want to think TikTok had around 35,000 people with 1 million or more followers, some crazy number like that, right? Because they're algorithms and stuff like that. So if you're an entrepreneur and you start your platform and you build 500,000 followers on this one and 500,000 on that one, and you monetize those. So I mean, like I say, if I'm pulling in $700 here, 700, well, I'm sitting at $2,100 a month.
Yeah,
that's more than that job at McDonald's. So why would I go work at McDonald's when I'm sitting at home making more?
Right.
And a lot of that is just from making my videos. I post them, and I still have my day free to do whatever I want to.
Yeah,
that's powerful.
And it's the data I think shows, and I haven't looked into this. This is just me guessing here from what I've seen, but if you're more of who you really are, that actually sells better.
Right.
So people get to build self-worth in a way that's unique. And there's a danger side of that.
Right.
Because if you get money and approval, that can be addictive.
Yeah.
Right.
Those two things are addictive.
Pride enter.
Yep. And so there is a danger zone there, and maybe that's its own podcast. But people are able to build some self-worth through that platform, while also building money, building some income.
Right.
Certainly. Well, Justin, man, it's been great. We've had a great conversation here, and I look forward to continuing to see the great things you do here in this community, in this region, in this state. I know you do more than just here in Monroe, West Monroe, man. Yeah. And again, it's been a privilege to know you for the 5 or so years I have. And whatever I can do for you, man, to support you, to elevate the work that you do, to serve with you, man, I'm a phone call away.
Man, I really appreciate that. Thank you for having me on The Link, right?
Absolutely.
It's been an honor.
Appreciate your time.